Hey guys, and welcome to Gwent, the Witcher card game. My name is Jaggerous, and today I have another Francesca deck for you, because Francesca is finally decent, so I feel like I need to make the most of this as a Francesca myself. And this is a version of a Mulligan deck. I'm going to separate out these units a little bit so that you can actually see them a bit clearer here. But effectively, the gist with this deck is that you mulligan cards, so you have a lot of consistency in the deck, and you gain a lot of points. And this deck has a hell of a lot of tempo in it, which means that in round one you can very easily win the round or go multiple cards up without actually having played very many cards. So this is the deck here, and the gist of it is we have Francesca, who's our leader. She gives us a targeted mulligan, so we can use her to basically target draw anything that we need. And effectively what you're going to be doing is you're going to be mulliganing your Elven War Dancers whenever you see them, if you have them, just because that plays them. So if they're in your starting hand, you can do that. You want to play out one Blue Mountain Commando and thin the other three from your deck, and that gets you a lot of elves on the board, which is also going to thin Ailerin. And then once you have a lot of elves on the board, you have this card here, Rehead Vanguard. And whenever you mulligan this unit, it boosts all elf allies, so units on the board, by 1. And if you play it, it does the same thing. So then, once we've got a bunch of elves out, if we just start mulliganing our Rehead Vanguards, what that's going to be doing is that's going to be buffing everything elf that we have on the board. On top of that, we have our 3 Rehead Officers. These are going to allow us to mulligan the Vanguards, so we can use the Officer to mulligan the Vanguards, or say Elven War Dancers, which will then boost them by the power of the card that they mulliganed, and if we mulligan the Vanguards, that then boosts all the Elves. So you can kind of see how this is going to get a bit ridiculous. I've got a couple Brigades in here just for weather clear. On top of these, we can use these to move units across rows, and the Blue Mountain Commandos, actually, whenever they're moved, they get boosted by 2, so then you still have value in this, and you can also stack rows for Commander's Horn. In terms of our silvers, I have Teruviel. Teruviel's just a nice number of points. We're not really boosting her in this game, unless we do mulligan, draw her with Francesca, but we're not really necessarily boosting her, but she's just a nice number of points because we're going to have stacked rows. We have Moran. Whenever an enemy appears, except leaders, turn Moran over and damage the enemy by 5, and we can use Isengrim to draw either of those. Then we have Kieran for lock. And I like to run Elias. Whenever you draw a mulligan this unit, boost it by 2, so he can sometimes just be like a nice number of points towards the later stages of the game. There are other silvers you could run. I know some people may like to run things like Skellige Storm or Hailstorm. Sorry, Marigold's Hailstorm. It's kind of up to you a little bit, the silvers. You have a little bit of flexibility here, but these are the ones I like to run. Some people, sometimes run Roach for thinning. There's kind of different options, but I quite like Elias in this deck. Kieran is good for a lock, and then I actually also am running a Dimmerteam Shackles, and this is just because Camby is currently quite popular in Skellige Discard, and the only way you really deal with that is with Shackles. So I like to run it because I can always mulligan it, That's kind of how this deck works, and then if I do need it, I have it. This is the one card that you could potentially switch out for, another Elf or an Elves' Thunder. There's kind of options when it comes to this card. You could put a Thunderbolt Potion in, for example, but I personally like to just have that Shackles there, just in case. We have Kieran, like I said, for locks. We've got Yorveth, deploy damage at enemy by 7. We've got Zoltan, move 3 units to this row on their side, strengthen moved allies by 2, and he's really nice with the Commandos because you can then use him to move the Commandos, and they all get boosted because they got moved and boosted by Zoltan. And then we have Saskia, mulligan up to 2 cards in your hand, but choose any bronze cards from your deck to replace them. So we can use her again for mulliganing some of these. That's the deck. If you like this deck, hit that thumbs up button. Some people like to run a version with Farseers, but this is the version that I like. And let me know in the comments below what you think. Beyond that, I'm going to jump into a game and I'll showcase this deck in action for you as we make some mulligans.
My folk have suffered much.
Okay, so in terms of our mulligan, we definitely want to blacklist a Blue Mountain Commando. We don't want to draw any more of these. We're against Eredin, which means the Shackles probably isn't going to be crazy useful. So we can mulligan that. And we can also mulligan this Elven War Dancer, which will actually play her onto the board.
And learn.
And as you can see, we have one here. In terms of our hand, it's not looking super great. We don't have very many Vanguards. But the thing is, because Saskia is targeted mulligan, we can actually draw them, which is quite cool. And as we're going first, what we're going to do first is we're going to pop our Blue Mountain Commandos out, like so. And I'm going to put them on a different row because obviously Eredin plays a lot of weather. And if we expect weather, then I need to kind of be prepared for that. This is a little bit unfortunate in that he killed one of them. What that means is obviously I can't move as many with Zoltan and get as much of a value there. But what we can do here, I guess, is if we mulligan the Vanguard, that's probably going to start to get us set up. I don't want to mulligan too much weather clear because obviously we expect to see weather. So I'm going to play this. Mulligan the Vanguard. You can see everyone got buffed there and we pulled to reveal instead. And he actually is then a 13. Here comes the weather now. So this is fine because what we can do is we can then use this guy to clear weather, which will also pull Ailerin, and we'll move a Blue Mountain Commando, which buffs it. And you can see we're on 40 points and he's on 11. So the tempo in this deck is pretty legitimate. Yennefer's not really a problem. We can just kill it with Yorvith. And we're going to stack this back row to set up our Commander's Horn. So we'll just straight kill Yennefer. And that's how you win a rank game, you guys. So let's jump into the game. And I'll showcase this deck in action once more for you.
You shall die, worm.
We do what must be done.
Okay, so it's Eredin again. I wonder if this game is going to go the same way as that last one. So you want to keep hold of your clear weathers if you're up against Eredin. Kieran is nice. Isengrim is good for targeted draw. I want to mulligan this, but I don't want to mulligan it too early. I'd rather, like, I don't want to blacklist it yet, basically. So we mulligan Shackles first. It gives us a chance to draw a second War Dancer. We didn't get one, so we'll mulligan this one. And then one Commando.
Too fast for you, Dwan.
And you can see that we are, in fact, too fast for you, Dwan, because our Elven War Dancer is now on the board. Which is nice. So there's weather. If this card dies, it doesn't really matter. So for now, I'm not gonna use my weather clear yet, because objectively, Eredin is gonna play more weather. I actually maybe shouldn't have done it that row, simply because I'm not gonna get a benefit from moving a unit by doing this.
We know the mysteries of time and
Because obviously he's gonna frost me, and there it comes. But this is still okay. We'll just do this.
This is Elven land, Dwan.
It means we can't move one of these to get the boost, but we can pop one of those on the back row. So still not too bad. I'm guessing I'm getting frosted again. And that's all of his frost there, so it does mean this is all of our weather clear, but ultimately I think it's fine.
This is Elven land, Dwan.
We'll stack his back row some more.
Your kind dies.
And we're still ahead here, even though we haven't really made any of our tempo plays. Show me what you got, Eredin. Morin, I prefer to draw with Isengrim, so generally I feel like it's maybe better to... Ooh, that's kind of nasty. Morin is better to draw with Isengrim, so I feel like it's better to mulligan her. But, you know, we can't always do that. We're going to play this officer. We'll just start stacking the back row. And mulligan the Vanguard. And in mulliganing the Vanguard, you can see they all got buffed. So we're still ahead, even though we're ticking frost. And we can start stacking the back row, which isn't too bad. Into Francesca. We need to really get our elves out is the problem here. But if we mulligan the Elven War Dancer, what that actually does is it pulls Ayla in there, because we get enough, and then we can decide what we want to draw here. And I'm thinking probably Saskia. Zoltan is not bad, though, because they do have, you know, we do have units in weather. We can save them with Zoltan and stack the back row. So potentially that's a viable pick here. It really depends on what you want to do. You know, Saskia is nice in that she lets us mulligan bronzes, but we don't really have that many bronzes to mulligan. So maybe she's not as useful. And maybe we just go with Zoltan for now. This is the thing with Francesca, is you do get choice. You know, you can kind of draw what you like. So we can just lock this. For now, though, I want to move these just so that they're protected and out of the frost, and that's quite nice. Then we'll lock his Well-Done Rider. It also stops his trio effect.
Resistance is futile.
So Kieran, I don't want to stack the back row any more than this. I've got enough units for Commander's Horn, and if I wanted to reveal, I can. This also moves units, so if you had something that you wanted to set up with that, you could do that. Ooh, nasty. Rude as heck, mate. So we can Commander's Horn, and then we're on even Stevens. Let's do that. We just need to be a little bit careful here in terms of what he plays, and, you know, getting set up with that. 48 to 59. So I guess we just Isengrim to reveal here. That's, you know, enough points, really. We can pop this down here, and that's, you know, that's a 14-point play in and of itself, so if he passes, we're in a good spot. And, like, he's not got any carryover, so this is actually pretty okay for us. Crones. Okay. That's kind of annoying. This is, let me see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Does it boost itself? I think this is enough.
I was hoping you'd say that.
If he passes, we get 14. So we'd be 1 up. Morin's only worth 8 because he's not going to play any more cards. So it depends if his last card is worth 8. That is the question. He passes. To reveal pops. We win by 1. And to be honest, we should probably go for a 2-0 here. We have Moran, which means we can basically shoot whatever he plays. We're on even number of cards. It really depends on, you know, what we draw here. Yorvith would be nice. Elias would be nice. Elven War Dancer would be nice because we can mulligan it. I think this hand is fine. I think we go for the 2-0 here. I mean, maybe we mulligan the Vanguard. The only thing we don't want to really draw is Dimeritium Shackles. Officer is fine. Vanguard is fine. I think, you know, let's just stick with this hand. I think it's not worth the risk. So let's play Moran. Get that set up. And we'll see what he plays. Because the problem is, this kills whatever he plays. So if he plays something that has less than 5, if it dies, its effect doesn't trigger. And I could have just dry passed here and gone to the final round with 1 card up. That is still an option, depending on what he plays here. We need to kind of read the situation a little bit. But we have 14 points in hand with this, which is not too shabby.
They'll not leave here alive.
So yeah, we could just pass here. He plays another card, and then we have these 2 for the final round. That is an option. And then he plays first, so we have a chance to shoot whatever he plays with Yorvith. The question is, we've got 6 points here, 7 points, I think. So does he have that many points? And I'm tempted to just play this. This is a risky strategy because it gives him a chance to catch up. If he makes a big play here worth more than 10, then he'll catch up, and I can't just dry pass him. That is the kind of risk that we take. And that's not enough points, I don't think. I think we're tied if she does this. Oh no, she's 1 up. She 1 up? Oh no, we're tied. I can do basic maths. So, is this worth 14 points? That is our question. Do we think that this card is worth 14 points? The answer is no. But he has to play it. So otherwise we pass and we go 1 card up. I think we probably pass and go 1 card up. I don't think that card is worth 14 points, but I think this is a much safer strategy. Oh, it wasn't worth 14 points. So we could have just 2-0'd him there. Could have just gone straight for the 2-0. As it is, though, we get 2 cards this final round. We have, you know, a decent amount of points here. He gets 1. Do we want to mulligan this? No, I think this is fine. I think this is fine. Show me what you got. Happy. Okay. So we just shoot it and win. So we would have won either play that we make. The question is, you know, I didn't want to go on to a top deck war, because if this had come down to a top deck war, I top deck 3-head officer. So, you know, I would have lost the top deck war if he'd been able to catch me up in the final round. And because we're quite early in the meta, you know, we're not that familiar with the decks that people are playing. Like, there's not a lot of deck consistency, so then I think it's better to play a little bit more cautiously. Anyway, guys, I'll jump into another game. I'll showcase this deck once more for you.
Men of Kedwen, attack!
Scoia'tael.
Okay, so we're up against Hensel. People are playing a lot of kind of armor strategies at the moment in terms of Northern Realms, so that's something we should be aware of. We don't really want Ailerin, but we can always mulligan her with Francesca should we need to. I think I'll just mulligan her now into an Elven War Dancer. Obviously, we also want to mulligan these, so I'll mulligan one of these now. Elias is actually also a good mulligan target. So we actually have a lot of options here in terms of mulligan targets. You know, the only problem is, I was going to say we don't have a lot of mulligan, but we do because we have Saskia. So we have Saskia, we have the officer, we can target draw more mulligan. You know, we have a lot of options. This guy's going to be stacking armor, and then he's going to absorb it. That's his kind of strategy here. So the question is, can we kill him? The answer is no. Can we lock him? We can target draw Kieran, and we could lock him. Will he get unlocked? Potentially. That's kind of what we have to think here. So I think I'm going to go for the early Kieran, because this guy's just going to be stacking armor, and he's just going to absorb it all, and that's not really that fun. Like, it does add up to a lot of points. Alternatively, we let it happen and we just go for our tempo plays, in which case we'd look for things like, you know, Teruvial or Commander's Horn, depending on what it is that we want. I think for now, I will play these and get that set up, and we'll kind of see how this turns out. We'll see how this turns out. Like I say, there's a lot of matchups I haven't had a lot of chance to play, so then I'm trying to figure those out a little bit. I can move this unit, and then he's not buffing things. We can do that with Zoltan. It'll also damage him, but maybe it's worth waiting till he plays a second one. That is something that's worth considering. So, you know, you have to kind of think about these things a little bit, but maybe we go for it now, in which case we put him in the middle row, because that will allow us to move this and also 2 of these, which means they get boosted. And then we remove the armor, so then he's not buffing, which is a kind of a nice setup, really.
As you command.
Like I say here, you're really just kind of you know, you're reading the plays as they go. Rain, interesting choice, but you know, rain's not a problem because we can clear weather. And look, we can move a unit. And yeah, so you can kind of see the tempo involved in this deck already, and we haven't played any vanguards. Like, this is why things are kind of ridiculous.
Stand and fight.
So now what we'll do, because we're making big tempo plays, we'll play Saskia. We will mulligan Elven War Dancer and the Three-Head Vanguard, which is going to then obviously cause the mulligan effect to trigger. And then we can draw 2 cards. So we probably actually want to draw a Vanguard here and a mulligan, because then we can then start mulliganing these Vanguards some more. And we're in a pretty spicy spot. Isengrim and Yorva still in the deck, Teruviel still in the deck, Kieran's still in the deck. Lots of good targets for Francesca should we need them. And in some regard, you know, it might be just worth passing this round, because these guys are going to work really nicely for us in future rounds. And he just doesn't have the tempo at the moment to catch us up. You know, we're still 24 points up. Even if he absorbs this armor, it's not going to be enough. So I think we just pass here. And this is what I mean about the tempo in this deck, is it's quite hard to keep up with. I guess he could Hensel out his Tridems. That would give him enough points. If he's running 3 of them, that is the question. That is the play I guess he has to make, but maybe he wants to save his Hensel for something else. That's not enough. You're still behind. So now you're 3 cards down. And this is what I mean about the deck, is you make it hard to catch up. I didn't actually think about the Hensel into the Tridem, but maybe he didn't either. Oh, or he didn't do the maths. And that's why you got to be a little bit wary of our good friend Trollalol over there. So, we're 3 cards up. I think this is a good place to be. Even if he dry passes, you know, we can just play Francesca, Mulligan, Elias, and go from there. Shackles, we're not really going to need, so we can Mulligan that. Come on. There we go. Into Yorvith is a lovely pick. Into our opponent's turn. And honestly, I don't fully understand how he intends to win this one. He passes. So we probably just want to target draw. We could target draw Teruviel here or Commander's Horn. Teruviel would be 14 plus 3. Not bad, but Commander's Horn is situational based on rows. So I think we probably want to go for Teruviel as the safer draw. She's also not that targetable. So we will mulligan Elias. And we will draw Teruviel, I think. This also shuffles our deck, which means hopefully Shackles won't be too near the top. But you see, like, I'm still 8 cards to his 6. And this is why this deck is, I think, so potent, is because you win the first round really easily and have enough cards to play tempo on the second round. Or you go really kind of high card advantage. So it's good either way. I'm wondering if we open with a Moran. I don't think this is a bad opener, because it sets us up to kill something. Although, maybe he's going to try and Reaver Scout things out. And he's got Hensel. Can we actually kill Hensel with this? Except leaders, no, so we can't kill Hensel with this. So I guess for now, I still think we should probably play this. We'll put this here for now. And then we'll play our brigade, and then we'll start mulliganing these vanguards.
I hate portals.
Mother will be proud.
Okay, so let's play this one. I guess we'll move him to the back row. It's not really helpful, but it is a thing that we can do. Okay, so he no longer has an officer in hand, like a Kidweni, which is why this guy didn't get buffed. So we have a little bit of extra information there. So let's go for this. I probably should have actually played one of these before I did this. Oh, and there's Elias. That is super nice. That is a super nice pull here. And we could mulligan him, but I think we're better off mulliganing these dudes at the moment. So let's just kind of continue down this strategy and see if we can pull Commander's Horn. We got Shackles, which is a little bit yet less useful. And this is, you know, the risk that you have of running it. But then when he plays something like a Kidweni support that's going to start buffing units, we can just lock it. So it's still, you know, it's not terrible.
I am ready.
Can we buff her so we can't kill her? I don't really... Oh no. Oh no. We need to play this before he passes. Let's just play this now. It's just in case. I don't really know what his plan is here, but just in case Ballista... Is he gonna kill her? He's gonna kill her. That's not her. Huh, interesting. So I guess we kill the Ballista. If we kill the Ballista, he can't chain them out, right? Look at this ingenious strategy. Boom. Or are you gonna Hensel it now? Tell me. Show me what you got, bitch.
You want peace? Fight for it.
What do you want?
And, that's the thing. The thing is, this is actually, these are nice to have out if you can get all 3 of them, but you just didn't have them. And we just pass here. Like, there's no point playing more cards and just rubbing it in his face. That's kind of a dick move. Because the thing is, with Mulligan's Francesca, it is never the end of the world. It's never the end of the world. And, that's the deck. It's very consistent. Everyone is complaining about it. Nobody is happy. But, you know, it's fun to play, right? It's fun to play. And it's kind of nice that Francesca's finally good, because she's been bad for so long that I feel that this is fine. But if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Let me know about your own Mulligan decks, if you played them differently, what kind of cards you would change, whether you think the Shackles isn't worth it. It's not worth it until you find Camby, and then it's totally worth it. Beyond that, you can always subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, have a fantastic day, and hopefully I'll catch you guys next time.